Hello? City. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
All right, well, I'm going to jump in and start. Are we streaming? Yeah, not yet? Good, this won't be recorded.
I know.
So, welcome back, everyone.
Woo!
Woo! Thank you. I'm Dwayne Leonard, ESL, English as a Second Language professor, and the new Faculty Equity Coordinator. We want to welcome you all who could make it here today in person, and all of you who are viewing remotely soon, once we're remotely allowed to be viewed. The different ways we're present today is reflective of our new hybrid reality that we'll all experience soon in our classrooms. And I'm proud to stand with you in solidarity and community as we rise to that challenge together. Welcome to the start of a new semester, a semester full of uncertainty. But it's when we come together in moments like this, believing in each other, that we can turn these uncertainties into opportunity. We welcome you all, returning students, staff, and faculty, as well as new hires, to our community that engages, supports, and inspires. Let's use this semester of opportunity to strengthen our connections and deepen our support for each other and our students. Welcome back.
Woo. Welcome, SCC family. I'm Alex White. I teach in the English department, and I'm also the new I'm the new Teachers for Equity Coordinator, and it's really a pleasure to be here. So, it's been way too long since we've been able to share space together. And I know that this room usually is very packed, but this is a good start as we transition to being in person again. So it feels both surreal and incredible to finally be back in person for Convocation Fall 2022. Welcome to all of you. Woo! Welcome. I'm not sure if people are virtually showing this yet, but welcome to everyone viewing this virtually as well. We wish you were here, right? But I think we can all attest to the virtues of being able to work remotely. The pandemic fundamentally transformed the way we teach, learn, and work. And it's okay because we're humans, right? And we can adapt to almost anything. So if we are here virtually or in person, it means that we survived the pandemic. So congratulations, you guys. So I am so honored and grateful to be standing here welcoming such an amazing group of people. Every single person who has a role in helping SCC function as an institution, as an ecosystem, should feel valued and welcomed. So whether your role has an important title attached to it or not, please know that you are appreciated. You are a vital member of the SCC family. So welcome to Fall Convocation 2022. And I will now introduce a brightly shining rising star, Stella Merez, who will read, woo! Stella will be reading our Indigenous Land Recognition Statement, and I'm gonna just share a little bit more about this incredible young lady. So Stella is a Raza Center Puente Peer Mentor and Student Assistant, and yes, whoop whoop! And she is also an English major, yes. We're special. And she's a recent graduate of SCC, right? So she's getting ready to begin her first quarter at UC Davis, where she will continue to study English, but she will also be minoring in Chicano studies, rather. So she is most passionate about serving her communities and advocating for the underrepresented. So I'm gonna ask Stella to come and read the land statement, please. Woo!
Hello. Oh, can you hear me fine? Okay, good. Thank you for having me, and thank you for opening up space with the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the land currently occupied by Sacramento City College as the traditional home of the Maidu, Miwok, and Nishinan people, as well as the Patwin people of what are now the Davis and West Sacramento campuses. These sovereign people have been caretakers of the area since time immemorial. Despite centuries of genocide and occupation, the Maidu, Miwok, Nishinan, and Patwin people continue as vibrant and resilient federally recognized and unrecognized tribes, bands, and rancherias. Lost my spot. Sorry. Today, we honor and recognize our Maidu, Miwok, Nishinan, and Patwin tribal neighbors for their contributions as the caretakers of the Sacramento Valley, and we honor their sustained existence. It is with their blessing and continued guidance that Sacramento City College seeks to provide an accessible, equitable, and supportive institution of learning and experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stella, for reading the land recognition. Yay. So, now that we have acknowledged the indigenous land that we're on, it is now time to acknowledge those who came before us and those we have lost to the pandemic and during the pandemic. At this time, we're here to take a moment to honor family, friends, and colleagues who are no longer here with us on the physical level. In many traditions, particularly cultures of the African diaspora, certain rituals are performed to honor and memorialize those who have passed away. Today, we will be pouring libations for the ancestors. Anyone who transitions from the earthly plane becomes an ancestor. I've asked my friend and colleague, Ken Times, from Umoja and the Ashe Center to assist me with this process. So at this time, I'm going to ask Ken to come up, please. So as KT pours libations, you are invited to call out the names of departed loved ones. After you call out the name, we will respond with Ashe, which is a Yoruba word rooted deeply throughout the African diaspora, which roughly translates into something similar to amen. It means good blessings. It adds power to whatever statement, word, or phrase which precedes it. It is a statement of power in and of itself. So I'm going to start off by saying the name of Tanya Rodriguez. Ashe. Then please call out names of ancestors. Ashe. Ashe.
Michelle Dora.
Ashe. 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 Ashe.
All right, and we will end with 3 Ashes after the pour.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Thank you, everybody, for that. That was incredible. And so now we will be setting some intentions for the semester. So I'm going to invite Tom, Marquez, and Carla to come to the stage and lead us through the setting of the intentions.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, City. How are we doing today? My name is Marcus Gales. I'm in the Kinesiology, Health, and Athletics Department.
Hi, everybody. Carla Rojas. I'm Mathematics and Statistics Department.
A lot of you, as you walked in, you may have seen this structure outside in the lobby. You may have seen some writing on it. You may have seen some cards. You may have grabbed a card and may have wondered what they were for. Tom, what are these for?
Well, Halsey came to the Makerspace about a month ago with this idea of a tree, kind of like a tree of life, where you could add leaves to it, whether it's to symbolize the last couple of years, whether it's loss or opportunity or affirmation, and just to put thoughts on. So you'll find in the lobby a bunch of colored discs and squares and Sharpies to write little notes anonymously, or if you want to put your name, you could put "Thank you for the kind retro," maybe, or or I have like "Here's to a great fall semester," things like that. So the whole idea is there's about 800 to eventually 1,000 little wood clothing clips that you can just clip on. After today, it will end up in the lobby of the LRC. And feel free to add notes, read notes, and it's basically leaf out the tree. It's kind of a stylized tree. There you go. Did I just say all that? Okay.
So step one, go ahead and grab a piece of cardstock outside. There are different shapes, different colors, and there are plenty of Sharpies as well.
And the tree's right out front, right in the front where the little ticket office thing is. So feel free to just add to it and read others. And that's it. And I thank the Makerspace team for firing it up, even though our equipment's scattered all over the place. But it was a fun project, and it's basically for all of us and to add to. So thank you.
It's a wonderful fall of 2022, yeah? All right, I have the utmost honor and pleasure to introduce both Patty Leonard and Stephanie Rowe. Patty Leonard is the Dean of Humanities and Fine Arts, and her superpower is to use the system to win the system. And Stephanie Rowe, superpower is, she is just a bright ball of energy and is completely contagious. So I welcome both of those to the stage.
Good morning. It's so good to see you. And I was doing a loose head count. We have over 120. I know Albert was hoping for at least 100, so you got it. Merry Christmas. I am Patty Leonard, and yes, people who know me know that my favorite game and superpower is use the system to beat the system. So there are rules, and we should abide by rules and guidelines and protocols, but where are the loopholes where you can use the rules and get the things that you need, right? It's like budgeting, but in a bureaucracy. So I've been here for over 33 years, and I love this campus. I was faculty for 30 years, and I've been dean for 3 now, which it definitely is a different game. So if you ever want to sit and chat, I'm happy to do that. One of the most pleasurable roles I've had in these 33 years is I've been on the Honors and Awards Committee for almost the entire time. And I refer to it as the Santa Claus Committee because we're in charge of reviewing all the scholarship applications for students. So we get to give away lots and lots and lots of money that we don't have to write the checks for. So that's awesome. The other thing is recognition of staff, classified faculty administrators who really excel at being here. We have here's your job, do your job, good job. And then there's people who really go above and beyond in terms of that. The Celebration of Excellence, at this time, we put out the nomination appeal in February, and then in March of this year, March 14th, that was the due date. And when you nominate someone, we have you give the videos up front when you nominate so that we can do things like this, both virtually and live. And what does it take to be nominated or to be recognized? What are people looking at? We have a rubric for people because we are an academic institution. Does this person exhibit expertise in their job? We have a lot of that on this campus. This campus rocks. How do they perform their job in an exemplary manner, which I think is respectful and timely and helping other people? Do they work for the betterment of the college and its students? Because if we don't have students, none of us are here. Do they demonstrate qualities of leadership and or initiative? And it doesn't mean you have to be a tri-chair, but do you lead by example? I think is one of the best ways that we lead. Do they represent the college with distinction in professional and community activities? A lot of our people volunteer outside of campus, plus they're doing triple, quadruple duty on the campus or district. Do they earn the respect of fellow employees and or students involved in campus events? Absolutely vital. Do they volunteer time and energy above and beyond the assignment? And do they promote the values of anti-racism and equity-mindedness? These are the people that are truly excellent. And you can't see it up close on purpose, but I just picked these up yesterday. You get handy-dandy. These are gorgeous. I received one several years ago. It's one of the best honors because it's that pure respect, the people you work with and the people you work for. So I think we have videos, yes?
She offers excellent instruction addressing social justice, equity, diversity, and respect, and continually enhances her teaching skills and content knowledge. As LRCFT president for SCC, she's a labor relations expert and has a command of contractual language and brings expedited resolutions to challenging issues. Belinda's work is indeed exemplary. As a professor, she challenges her students to orient themselves in the complexity of society while inspiring and preparing them to continue their education through both upper division and graduate studies. She empowers them to offer their voices as both scholars and community members. On the union side of things, she offers professional insight in a thoughtful and non-threatening manner, especially with difficult issues. She's responsive to the emergent needs beyond the regular workday or work week and offers detailed and thoughtful identification of the ramifications of contractual provisions. She has our back. Sac City and Los Rios are certainly better as a result of Belinda's work. She crafts timely instruction to our unique population of students, all the while advocating and providing for their needs, such as free instructional materials. As an undocu ally leader, she engages in critical work that is very beneficial to all involved. As the LRCFT president for SCC, she recognizes the inherent opportunities to promote good and to help move our college in a positive direction, serving our students more effectively. She is certainly a leader that demonstrates initiative. As the campus president, she is a regular guest at the academic senate meetings and volunteers to investigate important questions or concerns that may arise. As chief negotiator for the union, she works on behalf of employees to better their work environment and professional support, often addressing concerns that are incredibly difficult, and excels in bargaining on behalf of employees. She never wavers on these issues that have to do with equity and anti-racism, and is unapologetic about her desire to help faculty grow. She certainly represents our college with distinction when she consults on behalf of issues of diversity and equity, and has represented many of these important items in numerous organizational settings. Even in moments of disagreement, Belinda is a professional and extends courtesy. Belinda has the respect of fellow employees and students by making herself available to colleagues for a variety of different events. She is unafraid to speak the truth to power and also diplomatically works with multiple parties toward the goals that are of benefit to those she represents. She has worked side by side with the Academic Senate to tackle issues that are of great concern, all with a collaborative spirit. Belinda's work life seems to operate on a nearly 24/7 schedule, except early mornings, that is. Countless colleagues have discovered to their delight how quickly and how effectively she will reach back out to them when they have an issue of concern. She partakes in a variety of different volunteer opportunities that go above and beyond her job descriptions, including food distributions, purchasing holiday gifts, nominating deserving colleagues for their own campus recognitions, and hosting get-togethers for faculty and staff. Anti-racism and equity-mindedness are truly items that encapsulate Belinda. She is said to be an equity warrior, working with UndocuAlly trainers and multiple other efforts locally, district-wide, garnering a lot of attention and praise. These are among core values that are centered in all of Belinda's work, and it drives nearly all of her energies throughout the many roles she has on campus. We hope that you will see the tremendous value and appreciation that we can show to Belinda Lum.
When it comes to Sandra Guzman, what does she not do? She's been a former member of the LRCFT board. She is a counselor extraordinaire. She co-created the UndocuAlly program for LRCFT. She works on behalf of those who most need the advocacy. She is a dedicated teacher, dedicated counselor, but more than anything else, her commitment to change is what makes her exceptional and deserving of this award. And I really appreciate everything that she's brought to the table to make Sacramento City College a better place.
Sandra Guzman has been my mentor for many years. From being a student sitting in her classroom to now working alongside of her, I've been able to firsthand witness the love, cariño, and hope that she pours into her students every single day. She has helped me be a better student, a better professional, and a better student ally. Muchas gracias, Sandra.
What can I say about Sandra Guzman? She is the consummate professional. She is the epitome of cariño and corazón. What else can I say about Sandra? She is my puente partner, mi colega y mi amiga.
Sandra was very instrumental in helping me develop as an academic, as a person. She really provided sort of the resources and just the open heart and the open space for me to be the best that I can be.
Hi, this is Rise Fam. I'm Valerie, and I just want to say thank you, Sandra, for your advocacy for students and your leadership.
Hi, I'm Leah Tuifo, and I wanted to thank you, Sandra, for being a trailblazer, not only for students, but as a faculty of color, for all of us.
Hi, I'm Keith. I've been here a long time, and I can tell you that I've seen a lot of great counselors, a lot of great coordinators, a lot of great union people, a lot of great academic senate presidents to be, but I haven't seen anyone do it all at the same time. And for Sandra, that's what makes you great.
She's a valued partner in the work as a counselor, instructor, advocate, has been driven to shape our campus due to her willingness to make a space for the students we serve and the communities they grow from. Right? She's beyond a counselor and an educator at Sac City College due to her work and pattern of impact and willingness to stand in the often uncomfortable steps of the fight for justice, equity, anti-racism, with the root being a love for people and communities that find themselves at the mercy of systems of oppression. Her root of community work can be reflected on campus, seen in Puente, Raza, Undocu Center, as well as the union work, and really any space she enters. She's an educator that recognizes that education is communal, education is love, education is revolutionary.
I've known her since I was a student. I started in 2012 as a puentista, and even when I started, she provided so much guidance, so much hope, so much support. As a student, first generation, low income, undocumented, and she made me feel and guided me, to reach my goals and my dreams and navigate the higher educational system. So not only that, and I've seen her, and I've worked with Sandra for many years, and I've seen her do the same with many, many students, but she's also about equity and social justice.
For the Celebration of Excellence Awards, it's always a joy to hear the wonderful things about the various candidates. But today, I would like to speak to a candidate, and that is to you, Sandra Guzman. Sandra, it has been such a joy to work with you on the Senate Exec team over the last 4 years. I quickly came to realize your quiet brilliance and your ability to assess decisions and chart directions, always with our students in mind. As a counselor, Puente Program Coordinator, and Senate Exec team member, you have been a champion for our college, our colleagues, and most importantly, our students. Because of your dedication, thousands of our most vulnerable students have been able to achieve their educational dreams. The legacy you are building is one we can all be proud of. It is such an honor to know you and to work with you. Thank you so much for your service to our college and our students. Congratulations, Sandra.
We love you, Sandra. Thank you.
I'd like to nominate Dennis Lee, the Dean of the Behavioral and Social Science Division, for this year's Excellence Award. Since he joined the administration of Sacramento City College in January of 2020, Dennis Lee has helped us through an extraordinarily difficult period. He was on the job for maybe 2 months when COVID hit, and since then he has had to deal with a series of unprecedented challenges in managing one of the larger instructional divisions, and he has handled all of these challenges with amazing professionalism. Whenever we need to talk with him, he's always there. He replies promptly to emails. He is available. He is unfailingly polite and generous in his interactions with the faculty and staff. And he's done so much to provide stability to this division at a time when so many things at our college are changing. He has so much knowledge about how things work in the Los Rios district, and he has used that knowledge to help solve problems and also to move us forward on some very worthwhile projects. Throughout all of the challenges that we've had to face in the last couple of years, he has been extraordinarily patient and competent and reassuring at a time when things have been extraordinarily difficult. So we would like to thank Dennis for his service. We believe that this award is richly deserved, and we are glad to have him as part of the family at Sacramento City College.
Congratulations to everybody that got the Excellence Award. It's really nice to hear about all of your accomplishments. So now I'm inviting our fierce and feisty Board of Trustee member, Pamela Haynes for some opening remarks. Thank you.
So what's up? I'm so glad to see you here. And I do know that there are those of us who are online and on Zoom. And I want to thank you so much for the work that you have been doing. I have formal remarks, but I got to speak from my heart because you know Sac City is a part of my heart. This has really been a really hard 2.5 years. And I'm going to go into that just a little bit, but I just want you to know from my heart to your heart, thank you for your work these last 2.5 years. Thank you for your all-time work across not just at Sac City, but the commitment you have made to our students over these difficult months. So I'm going to start into my formal remarks, and there's pieces of that you'll hold on to, I hope. On behalf of the entire Los Rios Community College District Board of Trustees, I am indeed delighted to be with Sacramento City College to help kick off the fall 2022 semester. Now, many of you may know I've served on the board for 23 years, and so I've tried to get to every convocation, and I've tried to get to, if not at Sac City, every graduation. And part of that is because these are times where there's excitement. You've been working hard to prepare for this opening, and it goes without saying sometimes, but I think in this time we do need to say, we know sometimes how difficult it is, and this time is no exception, but we are still excited about, and I guess there's a little bit of anticipation as well as my enthusiasm about what we're about to embark on. My excitement is heightened because so many more of our students and faculty and staff will be back on campus. I know that many of you have been looking forward to return to some normalcy, and at the same time, there is still an understandable amount of trepidation about what that means. The pandemic has taken an immense toll on all of us, on our college, on our district, and most importantly, on the students we serve. But as I stand here with you today, I'm overcome with hope and with optimism for the semester that lies ahead. Many of you are here in person today, and as I said, there are those who are streaming this convocation live from your computer. And this is an important reminder that our students, too, will come to us from different places and in different ways. In these last 3 years, we've begun to transform and to change the way in which we work in service of our students and to our students. We are teaching classes and delivering services both in person and online in ways that we thought impossible just a short time ago. This is an incredible testament to all of you, our faculty, staff, the college and the district leadership, that we have adapted so creatively and quickly to the evolving needs of our students. And of course, let's not forget how remarkable they are. No matter what the world throws at them, and the world has thrown a lot, they keep moving forward, keep working toward their dreams, their aspirations, their goals. Our students need us now more than ever, and our unwavering commitment to our equity work, to creating an inclusive and welcoming environment, and a sense of belonging, of doing everything in our power to help our students be successful, has never been more critical. Believe me when I say that we know that this is not easy. So, from the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of all of my colleagues on the Board of Trustees, I'd like to thank you all for everything you do every single day to remove barriers that stand in the way of our students' success. And with that, I will now like it's my pleasure, I should say, to welcome our Chancellor, Brian King.
Hang on just a second, Pam. So fierce and feisty, that sounds about right. And also serving as president of the Board of Governors, so a statewide leadership role. Let's give a round of applause to Trustee Haynes. Thank you, Pam. Well, I am so excited to be spending a day with people in 3 dimensions. It has been a while that so many of our interactions were as boxes on a screen. And now we're making that transition, and it's going to be a challenging transition in a lot of ways. And I know many are joining remotely today through the live stream, and in some cases you may be watching this whole morning later on from the comfort of your home. So whether you're in the room right now, whether you're joining us electronically or watching later, so exciting to begin this semester with the opportunity ahead of us and tremendous opportunities facing Sacramento City College and the Los Rios Community College District. Time sneaks up a little bit. It's hard for me to really wrap my mind around the fact that I have been Chancellor at Los Rios for 10 fall convocations now, and I've attended 9 of them. Last fall, I was not able to participate in convocation. I have an excused absence, and I'll talk a little bit more about the experience I had that did not allow me to be a part of convocation last fall. And I'm going to talk about my experience, not because it's particularly unique, but because it is representative of the traumas that everyone has endured in one way or another in the last year. Most years when I speak, the focus is on budgets, strategic initiatives, and other important matters, and today will be a little different, that we'll talk about some of the questions we want to answer together, but also recognizing what we've been through together since the pandemic started back in March of 2020. So we've all faced trauma, and when we face trauma, we all have a choice. How will we move forward after experiencing trauma? Will we choose resentment that leads to despair, or will we choose gratitude that leads to hope? That's the choice before us today. Today's a bit of an anniversary for me. Since the last fall, about this time when normally convocation would be beginning, I was starting the first of 5 days in the hospital, where I had a rare breakthrough case, fully vaccinated. As my doctor jokingly says, I was in pretty good shape for someone my age, but not a likely candidate to be as ill as I was. I had COVID-related pneumonia that was not responding well to treatment, and I've learned a lot of new things. I didn't even know that that oxygen content was an important measure of health. But you know, what do the experts say? How low should your oxygen be before you go to the ER? Anybody learn that? If you're below 90, it's not good. So by the time I went to the ER, I was well below the barrier where they say you should go to the hospital, and having a lot of trouble breathing. And I'll never forget the hours that last summer the emergency rooms were filled with the Delta variant with sick people. So I sat in the ER waiting room for more than 5 hours and finally got to go from the ER waiting room into an ER treatment room. And I'll never forget when the nurse said, "Can you walk from here to there?" And my first reaction was, yeah. And as I started to get up, I realized that the answer was no, that I could not walk at that point, where breathing had become so difficult that I needed assistance to go from the ER treatment room from the waiting room to the ER treatment room. So my oxygen levels had dropped to such a low level I was gravely ill, and I spent the next several days in the hospital fighting for life during that lonely time when no one was allowed into the hospital except for the brave women and men who took care of me and kept me alive. So as I said earlier, I'm sharing the trauma I experienced last August, not because it is particularly exceptional, but because it is in many ways representative of the trauma that every single one of you has endured in one form or another during the past couple of years. Your trauma may have been that someone close to you or you yourself may have been impacted directly by COVID, and many of us have lost loved ones to COVID. For you, the trauma may have been the fear and uncertainty the pandemic caused and the total disruption of the life you had known pre-pandemic. The trauma may have been loneliness in some cases. Suddenly you were completely shut away from other people. Or the trauma may have been that you went months without having you went a long time without having a single moment to yourself. The trip of a lifetime may have been canceled, or a wedding or a lifetime event you would look forward to postponed. You may have never wanted to teach a class online, and suddenly were teaching all of your classes through a computer screen. For you, the trauma might be related to what is happening in the communities and the world around us, and the experiences of community of color, the LGBTQ community, and others who are still fighting, tragically, an uphill battle every day for respect, safety, and equality. I also recognize that the trauma and discomfort that you may have faced in the last couple of years is by no means a thing of the past in many ways. We are continuing to do our best to balance a return to face-to-face interactions with the safety and welfare of our students and employees. Very few decisions have been easy during the pandemic, and many difficult decisions remain in the year ahead. Overwhelmingly, the traumas of the pandemic have not been a matter of choice. External factors have created the trauma. But after experiencing trauma, each and every one of us has a choice in how we will respond to the trauma we have endured and may be continuing to experience. Will we respond with gratitude and hope, or with resentment and despair? In some ways, the choice may seem obvious in how to respond to trauma, but I have to share from my personal experience, gratitude and hope is not always an easy choice. I have to admit there have been hours and days in the last year where I had a pity party and wondered, why did I have a life-threatening illness? What did I do when I had tried to make good choices along the way and found it difficult to even breathe or move? And even today, now a year after I was hospitalized, there are still hours where I wonder to what extent the scarring of my lungs will ever fully recover. So I'm not immune from the tendency at times to lean towards resentment and despair. When I do the hard work of honestly confronting what I want to do with the life that at one point not long ago I feared might be near its end, I recognize that choosing gratitude and hope is the right choice for me. First of all, I strongly believe I have very much to be thankful for and very much to be hopeful about. And secondly, for all of us, there's just way too much evidence in the world around us that resentment and despair leads to divisiveness and bitterness. That's not the way any of us want to live whatever remaining months or years we have left in our lives. So let me start with my gratitude. And I'm grateful for so much, I'll have to limit sharing all the things I'm thankful for. First of all, and I apologize, I might get emotional when I think back to the time in the hospital and the bravery of the women and men who take care of seriously ill patients and putting their own lives at risk. I am so grateful for the people who took care of me and nursed me back to health when I was in the hospital. They were risking their lives taking care of seriously ill people like me. And I want to thank everyone who reached out with well wishes and encouragement. It just means so much when you're going through something like that to know that you're not alone. As Chancellor, I'm grateful for how you, our faculty and staff, rolled up your sleeves during these difficult times to serve our students so well. I'm amazed at all you have done, often in a remarkably short period of time. Circumstances sometimes seem to change every hour based on current health conditions, and information, and to some extent that is continuing in the fall semester. I am also very hopeful for the future of Sacramento City College and the Los Rios Community College District. During the pandemic, since we pivoted to remote classes and services back on Friday the 13th in March of 2020, we have faced a cascading series of crises. Without exception, we have worked together to try to make good decisions. Our faculty and staff have so many incredible accomplishments. We were able to convert almost all of our instruction to remote instruction in a matter of days. We found a way to provide remote counseling and academic services and so many other transactional services in a matter of days. We learned how to use technologies like Zoom to work together in new and different ways, and together we have responded to challenges of equity and social justice after the tragic murder of George Floyd. So much great work has happened, it's easy to forget how far we've come together. And I want to be clear, I know extremely well that none of this just happened automatically. It took extraordinarily hard work, creativity, and oftentimes a leap of faith and belief in each other. As we move forward this fall towards more interpersonal interactions in person, I'm hopeful we will resist the strong pull of resentment and despair as we answer an important question: what's next? What is next for Sac City and for Los Rios and for the community we serve? Now, I know sometimes leaders at this point would take the opportunity to lay out the answer to all these difficult questions as if any one person can know. As I've always tried to do as your chancellor, I'm just going to tell you the truth, and the truth is, I don't know exactly what is next. So instead of pretending that I do, I want to share a few questions that we will answer together and thoughtfully in the coming years as we chart the course and answer what's next for Sac City and Los Rios. So 3 questions, and as you have thoughts and insights about these questions, as always, I encourage you to reach out to me directly. Feel free to send an email to me at kingb@losrios.edu if you have some insights that you'd like to share. That's going to be really important to use the wisdom of everybody in this room to answer these questions. So 3 questions. The first, let's start with our students. What do our students need Sac City to be that is different than what it was before the pandemic? What does Sac City and what do all of our colleges need to become that is different than what we were? Second question, where did our students go? Enrollment is way down. Where did they go? Who did we lose? And how do we work together to restore lost access at Sac City and across the capital region? And the final question, the pandemic has impacted the way we work and the impact on our faculty and staff moving forward. What will work look like this year and in years to come? So let's start with our students. What do our students need us to become? From a student standpoint, a lot has changed in the last 3 years. On January 1st, 2020, between 80 and 90% of our classes were in person and on ground. A student who needed to see a counselor was expected to make an appointment and come to our college campus, true of many of our services. In fact, most of our services, including but not limited to financial aid and admissions and records, were provided overwhelmingly on ground and in person. Everything changed on March 13th, 2020, when we quickly pivoted to remote instruction and remote services. This week and in the coming months, we will have an opportunity to evaluate the dramatic changes for students that were necessitated by the pandemic. Now, if we're honest, some of these changes were long overdue. One thing we know for sure is that time is the enemy for our students. Think about that. Time is the enemy. Our students do not have time to waste. A student who is working or caring for a sick child or an aging parent just doesn't have time to get on light rail or get in a car and bus or walk or somehow come to our campus. Whenever students benefit from remote services, we need to provide outstanding options that represent the gold standard for service to our students. There are few things we can do to support our important equity goals that will have more impact than reducing the time required for students to receive particularly transactional services. It's not about doing things just online. It's not about doing things just in person. It's about listening to our students and hearing what they need us to be and meeting them where they are. Students of color and first-generation students simply have less time to seek the services they need to enroll and secure financial aid, among other difficult steps, to get to the classroom. Many of you have been involved in our important work to redesign financial aid and admissions and records, and we will continue to do everything we can to reduce barriers for our students in accessing vitally important services. With respect to how our students want to access classes, the pandemic has had a dramatic impact on the modality of instruction. Before the pandemic, as I shared, only about 10 to 20% of our total course inventory was online. It seems in some ways like ancient history now, but the discussions we were having before the pandemic about responding to the student demand for online courses were spirited and at times contentious. The sudden, unexpected necessity to pivot to remote instruction changed everything. As we begin the fall semester, student demand for online continues to be at an all-time high, and in many instances, online classes are filling much more quickly than on-ground classes. Now, I and none of us know for sure what will happen in terms of student demand for online education in coming years, but it does seem unlikely the demand for online education will decline dramatically, especially in the short term. Some students may choose to learn online because of understandable health concerns. For those students who are working or caring for family members, remote instruction may be the only way they have to access higher education. We have offered classes online in many disciplines for the first time during the pandemic. Now we have a wealth of data to review and analyze about how our students are doing in an online environment. Together, we are committed to making sure we meet the needs of our students in the classroom, whether that is a traditional classroom or an online, synchronous or asynchronous classroom. We will also face the difficult question about how to balance what students want with what is best for their success. In this new environment, we must make sure that we meet our students' needs in both on-ground and online classes. We need to find the space to have the vitally important discussion and recognize that our students will vote with their feet or their fingers, providing an outstanding teaching and learning environment. Whatever choice they make is our responsibility. So the second question, where did our students go? Who do we lose? And how do we get them back? I know you are well aware that the pandemic accelerated a decline in enrollment at community colleges, including all 4 Los Rios community colleges, every community college district in California, and most community colleges across the United States. The amount of students who have not enrolled at Sac City or one of our other 3 Los Rios colleges is truly staggering. You may be surprised to know that overall enrollment is down more than 20% from pre-pandemic levels, and the decline, unfortunately, has not yet stopped. Today, our enrollment for the fall semester that begins tomorrow is down between 5 and 10% from last fall. Now, one reason the massive nature of the enrollment decline may be a surprise is that for the first time in the history of California community colleges, the rapid decline in enrollment has not impacted funding negatively. In fact, because of the confluence of several unprecedented factors, state funding for our colleges is at an all-time high, and that is at the same time that we have experienced the most rapid decline in enrollment in California community college history. Now, we should pause and enjoy this moment. It's a moment where our ability to provide large retro payments and ongoing salary increases has taken place, and we appreciate the prudence of Trustee Haynes and our Board of Trustees in making good decisions, supporting our faculty and staff. but we have to recognize that this is a moment that is unlikely to be sustained. Sooner rather than later, declining enrollment will negatively impact our state funding. Now, the primary reason we focus on enrollment and access, of course, is not because of the negative impact on our budget. We focus on expanding access because our colleges provide the pathway to a better life for thousands of people in the capital region. Let's talk for a few moments about where our students have gone, who we lost, and how we're going to work together to restore the lost access in the future. Plenty of experts offer lots of explanations about why we've experienced a dramatic decline in enrollment at community colleges. Some point to the proliferation of low-skilled jobs with high wages. A student can earn $18 at In-N-Out without much training or experience. Unlike the Great Recession in 2008, the state and federal governments provided billions of dollars to support displaced workers, so potential students did not have an incentive to enroll and access federal financial aid in the pandemic. And another alternative for our students is somewhat invisible. It's the competition for our students that has grown dramatically during the pandemic while our community colleges have lost students. Online providers, including Southern New Hampshire University, University of Phoenix, and Arizona State University have increased their enrollment of students in our region at a time where community college enrollment has declined. We don't know all the answers as to why enrollment is down, and we will together continue to explore where our students have gone in recent years. While we don't know answers about all the questions about where our students have gone, we do have a good deal of data about who the students are who have not enrolled during the period of rapidly declining enrollment, and the news is not good. As you might expect, the most negative impact has been, as it always seems to be, on first-generation students, students of color, and economically disadvantaged students. Each of our colleges will continue gathering data about the demographics of the enrollment decline during this fall and throughout the pandemic. So what will we do to restore access lost during the pandemic? Our shared focus will be on equity-informed strategic enrollment management. This is a team effort. Now, how many of you believe that you have a role to play in restoring the access lost? And every hand is in the air, which is awesome. I appreciate that. Give yourselves a round of applause. Because every single one of us needs to ask what we can do to contribute to restoring access in the coming semesters. Enrollment losses or gains are not the sole responsibility of our instruction offices, our outreach or marketing teams, or any single part of our organization. Every part of a student experience at our colleges impacts enrollment, and we need a holistic mentality to address the enrollment decline. So I encourage you, as you've shown a willingness to do, to actively participate in our efforts to recapture lost students, as well as efforts to increase our retention rates for students who have already enrolled. And as we're digging deep in the data, we're seeing that the decline in retention is steeper than the decline of new students applying. So we're going to have to focus on what we can all do together to keep the students once they are with us. So the first two questions I need your help to answer are focused appropriately on our students. The final question asks, how will these seismic changes underway impact the men and women who work at Sac City and Los Rios? What will work look like this year and in the years to come? Just as remote services for students were uncommon before the pandemic, so was remote work for our faculty and staff. The expectation really was unchanged for decades that doing your job involved getting in a car or using public transportation or riding a bike or walking to work, and once at work, you did your job in many cases much the same way as you would have done it in the 1950s, the 1960s, or the 1970s. The pandemic dramatically changed or expanded our ideas of what it means to work and where we can do our work. Now, I don't know about you, but it feels like my job has changed more in the last few years than at any time in my career, even though my title didn't change or my job description. In a lot of ways, my office now is anywhere I have an internet connection and a phone or a computer. The new world of work anywhere, anytime has advantages and disadvantages just like everything else in life. Our work can now be much less bound by where we are and what time it is, so maybe that's the good news, but what's the bad news? Our work is in many ways not bound by where we are or what time it is. The workday has expanded even more when not bound by time and place, so the workday can never end, and for some the idea of a weekend and downtime is more an illusory construct than ever before. So the opportunity for remote work has created wonderful opportunities. How many of you miss a long commute when you have an opportunity to avoid that? Almost no one does. Greater flexibility for family and other obligations. On the other hand, all of us miss the kind of interaction that many of you are having today for the first time in a long time, to see the energy and benefit from looking people in the eye and interacting as three-dimensional human beings. How many of you have participated in a Zoom meeting in the last couple of years where someone maybe said something a little pointed or harsh, and you wondered if they might have behaved a little differently if they were physically in the same room with the person that they criticized or questioned or offered a comment in chat while the conversation was taking place? So the opportunity for remote work has impacted a large majority of our employees. Of course, remote work was not a possibility for everyone during the pandemic. Our Los Rios Police Department, our custodians and grounds workers, many other employees, I don't want to leave anyone out, who worked on ground throughout the pandemic to keep our colleges functioning and to allow all of us to do our jobs. Let's pause and give a round of applause to the folks who kept our colleges running smoothly because of their physical presence throughout the pandemic. And I know many more of our folks are back on ground this fall to respond to student needs. So moving forward, the key that we want to maintain and build upon that allowed us to make these rapid transitions was trust and openness to conversation with one another. We've trusted each other to get the job done, whether the work was happening in person or remotely, and that trust will be a cornerstone in the future as we contemplate what is best for our students and how we do our jobs. In some cases, that may be completely remotely. In other cases, it will be a hybrid approach where sometimes the work is remote and sometimes it is in person. And in some instances, it will require a physical presence to meet the needs of our students. In every instance, when we evaluate the future of work, the answer will be driven by how can we best serve our students. So as we prepare for the start of the fall semester, none of us knows for sure what the coming months and weeks and years will hold. What we know for sure is that we should be prepared to expect the unexpected. We all know something is going to happen, right, in this semester that we had no idea what was going to happen. I look forward to digging deeper into some of these tough questions we've talked about as we get ready for what's next for Sac City and Los Rios. The three questions we've briefly explored today are: what do our students need us to become? Where have our students gone? Who have we lost and how do we get them back? And that final question, what will the world of work look like as we move forward, and how will we address the needs of our students in defining how we do our work together? So the exploration of these questions in many ways will be the most important work we do this year. As the saying goes, it's often about the journey as much as the destination. And again, I want to encourage you to share your thoughts directly with me about how we can address the challenges we've talked about today. I have no doubt that the work to unpack these questions will continue to come from a place not just of gratitude and hope, but also kindness towards and caring for each other. The trauma we have all endured over the last year has left us vulnerable, and acknowledging and appreciating that vulnerability can be the key to coming together to do what is best for our students. We don't always know what our colleagues or students are going through, and that's why we need open hearts and minds as we do this work together. And for those of you who are here in person today, if you just look to your left and right or look around you, you may know something about the trauma your colleague has endured, but there's a pretty good chance you may not know what they've been through, or they haven't had an opportunity to share it or don't feel comfortable in sharing it. But know that everyone has dealt with really tough stuff, and give them the benefit of the doubt. And if sometimes they say something that doesn't seem to be coming from a good place, always keep in mind that there's a story behind what's going on in their lives, and extend that gratitude and hope and forgiveness when appropriate, and be kind to each other. I have no doubt that we will answer these questions coming from a place of gratitude and hope. And one final thought, again, about kindness, how we can survive together in a challenging year. If the focus is on gratitude and hope, the fruit of that is kindness to one another. And that doesn't mean we always agree. We can be kind to each other and still have really vigorous debates about the issues if it comes from a place of commitment to our students. So kindness doesn't mean timidity. There is certainly a place for robust, passionate discussions about how we answer these questions. We have to be forceful in making the case for our beliefs, but kindness simply means interacting in a way that recognizes the humanity of the other person, recognizing that everyone has endured trauma, whether we know what that personal trauma is or not. So I want to wrap up by thanking you for your kindness in sharing part of your Friday morning with me. I look forward to get together charting a course for the future, answering the question, what is next, for Sac City and Los Rios Community College District. And I have no doubt we're going to continue to serve students in our region well, as we have for many years. And I don't know who's next, but I want to invite Interim President Albert Garcia to come up for a second. Another thing I'm grateful for is your leadership, Albert, and your willingness to step up during a time of transition. I'm grateful for the role you're going to play and look forward to working with you in the coming months. So
thanks very much.
I want to say that the leadership team that works with me, and most of you know, we go to 4 convocations in one day, so we have to leave to go to the next one. We would rather stay with each college and spend the whole day with you, but the logistics require that we have to go to our next favorite college because we can't have a favorite. But thank you again for letting us be a part of your morning, and have a wonderful semester.
Thank you, Chancellor King, for your words. Focus on kindness, I think, is something that we all should take to heart as we move forward. And there's a lot of work for us to do. We've been doing it. And as a team, I know that we can keep doing it for our students and for each other. Speaking of working together as a team, we have a continuation of our celebration of excellence.
A few years ago, we had talked to several people and amongst ourselves as a committee that, we celebrate individuals through this opportunity for classified faculty and administrators. But one of the things that we kept talking about is there are groups of people that really work well. And if you know anything about communication, a group and a team are 2 different things. And for those of you that have had the pleasure to work with people where it flows and you've got each other's back and you reach out and you see that person in the moment when they need you to see them differently, it's really wonderful. So we have one award every year where the team award is submitted, basically the same standards, but also working well as a team above and beyond. So we do have that award coming up.
Hello there, my name is Jessica Coppola, and I will be nominating the Nutrition Department for a Team Excellence Award today. First of all, this is our Nutrition Department, including Jessica Coppola, Nadine Kirkpatrick, John Polagrudo, Shara Sheldon, and Julie Tharlson. I'm going to give you 3 examples of our excellence today: excellence within our department, within our college and district, and just a few of the expert trainings, certifications, community engagements, and other amazing things we've been doing. First of all, we have an amazingly cohesive department. We have both full and part-time faculty, and we share assignments, we refine learning outcomes, we even update our free open source ebook together, and just engage and challenge one another all the time. We have worked continuously to improve our bread and butter course, Nutrition 300. It is now accessible, equitable, very applied to life, has a free ebook, and is quite popular. Julie has really built our Cultural Foods of the World course and our food preparation course to new levels. Shara has enhanced our Nutrition Honors course amazingly. Jessica and Nadine have both written coursework in food science, food safety, and recently beer brewing. And John has really become our data expert, helping us to use our course outcome data to improve student success. We're very collaborative within our college and our district. Our committee work is pretty extensive. We've been on some of these committees for over 10 years and very engaged in their productivity. We've been active within the maker spaces at both Sac City and recently collaborating with Folsom Lake College's makerspace. We even started a process where each of the nutrition faculty throughout our district get together and collaborate and work together. Here's just a few of our expert trainings. We've done the AQ certification. We've gotten online course design certified. We've aligned 4 courses and have 2 more in progress for the California Virtual Campus Online Education Initiative. We are on the consortium panel where we get to advise what courses and what programs within our district should be on the course exchange and program exchange. We've participated in labor market analyses, which not a lot of departments have done, looking at jobs in nutrition, food science, beer brewing, and more. We've participated in food processing expos where we learned about career opportunities for students. We're part of the Global Innovators Fellowship, working with a nutrition and gastronomy professor in Chile. And done lots of outreach, including nutrition at elder care facilities, the public library, and recently even the Sacramento Workforce Alliance. So in closing, we think we're amazing, and we hope you do too. Thank you.
Coming soon. At the Davis Center, though. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Patty, and the Honors and Awards Committee. Up next, we have Tracy Gomez, who's going to present CityWay's I Am videos and the concept of that.
Good morning. So in the spring, 5 students were awarded a $1,000 CityWays scholarship, and it was based on their responses to questions about how our CityWays, personal connection, communication, relevance, and flexibility, and the impact those factors had on their time at Sacramento City College.
And I have to say, as a side note, it was a highlight of my career to call those 5 students. I still get the chills when I think about it, to call those 5 students and tell them that they were awarded this $1,000. What an amazing experience. Listening to their excitement and joy. It's very emotional because they were so thankful. So as part of that scholarship, and as a way to honor the students receiving it, they were asked to write an I Am From poem. So if you're familiar with Achieving the Dream, they have dream scholars that they write I Am From poems, and they read this on and make a video. So we asked them to do that, and I had the great opportunity to talk with these students throughout the summer. And our students are busy, and they made time to do this. Excuse me. The students worked hard during the summer. They reflected on where they are from, who they are now, the goals and the things that they'd like to achieve in the future. And today we have the great privilege of hearing from one of our students, Denise Figueroa. Enjoy this video and the reminder of why we do what we do and the impact that we can have on our students. So thank you.
Good morning or afternoon, depending on when you are viewing this. As a scholarship recipient, I wanted to express my gratitude to everyone who has donated. Just know that you are definitely making an impact in students' lives. So let's go ahead and get started with I Am poem. I am from humble beginnings. I am from immigrant parents who came to the United States with a dream. I am from ESL classes who struggled to simultaneously learn 2 languages and culture. I am from cold nights living in my car because I was too proud to ask for help. I am from long hours being a single parent around the clock and raising 3 kids. I am from low income where poverty, homelessness, and liquor stores are the norm. I am from self-doubt and not good enough thoughts. I am from conflicting identities because I'm not American enough or Mexican enough. I am learning to be bold and accept all things that make me unique. I am an LRCCD employee and student. I am a first-gen Chicana. I am from deep roots to culture, traditions, and Christianity. I am from celebrations with música, familia, y comida. I am from hardworking ethics and perseverance. I am for justice and advocacy for the voiceless. I am a daughter, sister, mother, friend, student, and coach. I am strong, powerful, and determined. I am Denise Figueroa Posadas. Thank you.
Pretty powerful. We do have a couple of others. We'll show those throughout the year, either at Celebrate City or our next spring convocation, but we hope to keep that tradition going. So I also have the great privilege of announcing that we now have a break for 10 minutes. So we'll meet back here at 10:40. Is that correct? All right. Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. Please come to your seats. Please encourage the people who are quietly sneaking away that we have a few more remarks left. I see people leaving the doors, but they should actually be coming back in. Andre, thank you for telling me to use my voice. Please return to your seats. Welcome back again to your seats. Thank you for leading the way. And those of you watching, is this part streaming? Yeah, they want me cut from the stream, which I don't mind. That kind of thinned the crowd a little bit. Keep going. All right, okay, I see the doors opening and the floods are coming back. Quickly to your seats, because we're continuing with our high bar of excellence this morning, celebrating teamwork to get back to your seats. So we can make it to lunch and our games. All right, everyone, so thanks for coming back to your seats. It is my honor to present our interim president, Albert Garcia. Please welcome him as well.
Thank you to Dwayne. Thank you to all the people who are involved in planning this. Halsey, Carla, I'm going to miss names, I know, if I try to name them all. But really a great crew of people putting all this together. So thank you very much. You know, I talked with President Gutierrez yesterday, and he sends his best to all of us here at the college. And so I'm sure you'll join me in sending our best right back to him as he's starting his first fall semester at Hartnell. His convocation is next week, so he seems excited about that and says that everything's going well there. So just thought I'd let you know. I'm super excited. I don't know if I have the kind of voice that shows excitement necessarily, but trust me, I'm feeling it. To have experienced everybody out there this morning by the fountain with coffee and pastries and conversation, it was really quite wonderful to see so many people back on campus. Those of you who are streaming this, it's wonderful to have you joining us as well. It's the beginning, I think, of kind of coming back as a community here at the college. So I love that. And I'm very proud to be representing the college as interim president. I don't take that lightly. So that's not necessarily a nervous tick. That's our method for advancing the slides this morning. So, I'm going to be talking a little bit about where we are as a college. Okay, where we could potentially be going, as Chancellor King said, that's not a perfect science. We don't know exactly, but I'll be giving you some information about where we are, where we've been, and we'll take it from there. So I'm going to grab this mic so I can move over and see the slides a little bit better down here and up there. If you look at this one, and we're looking at enrollment information, okay, particularly head count information. Head count refers to the number of students at the college. It's the number we give when somebody asks, how big is your college, right? How many students does your college serve? This is a pretty shocking or striking chart in my mind. You may not be able to read that bottom list of dates along there. It goes from fall of 1992 clear over to the right where it's fall of 2022. So we've got 20 years of head count data here. In fall of 1992, we were around 18,000. You can see we climbed more or less steadily to about 2009, the Great Recession, right? Where we had I think it was like 27,600 students, right? And then you can start to see, so we've lost, Chancellor King talked about us losing enrollments over the last couple of years, but you can see that our enrollment numbers have been going down pretty steadily since 2009 and pretty dramatically over the last couple of years, right? The difference between 27,600 and 17,000, about 10,000, that's about the size of losing Cosumnes River College from our enrollment, okay? Pretty striking, I think. And so that gives us something to look at. Next slide, please. So enrollments are different than head count, okay? So each student, each head count, if you will, can take multiple classes. And so that gives us our enrollment numbers. So we have from spring of 18 to spring of 22. Look at that drop off from spring of 20, the pandemic years, right? To spring of 2022, around 10,000 enrollments. So pretty striking. But another thing to look at is who is being affected the most. So if we can take a look at the next slide. Well, actually, this is our persistence slide. Sorry, got the wrong one. But persistence is a measurement of students that start in the fall and continue with us into the spring. We used to talk about a really troubling number that we would lose, say, a third of our students from fall to spring. Well, if you're doing the simple math up there on the spring, up there on the screen, we're looking at more than a third, right? Significantly more than a third. From 17 and 18, that would have been about 42% loss of students. 2021 to 2022, that would have been about 47%, the difference about 5%. That equals 941 students, right? So that if, and it's kind of looking at a bad to worse scenario, right? Losing 42% of our students from from fall to spring is not good. That's not good at all. It's much worse to be losing 47%. And the difference, again, is around 941 students, okay? So if we were to just close that gap, go back to our persistence rate of 17, 18, we'd be saving that many students. If we went to a persistence rate of, say, 62, 65, 70%. Think about the effect on enrollment. And we talk about persistence because these are students we have. These aren't people out in the community that we're hoping to make students at our college, right? These are students that are already in our classes and that we have the potential to keep and move to the spring semester to stay with us. So that's the importance of persistence numbers. Okay, let's go to the next slide and look at who's impacted the most in this way. So if we look at this by race, we can see that our Black and Asian students are disproportionately impacted, and those are the students that we're losing more in comparison to other students. Okay? If we look at it by income, overall low-income students are the ones we're losing, and of those low-income students, Black and Latinx students are disproportionately impacted. Okay? So this gives us information in terms of urgency in working with these populations, but it also gives us information in terms of opportunity, right, to work. So next slide, please. Okay, so if we're losing our Black students, say, more than other students, right, we'd like to know why that is. And we started getting this information not like, you know, this August. We've known this is happening. And so we decided that it might be important to actually listen to the voices of students. Okay, so that might be important, right? So over the course of the spring, we had a group of 15 Black and African American students that we took through a series of conversations with facilitators. Okay? And so that a certain trust could be built up so that they understood that they could be talking with us and telling us really what they're experiencing. Okay? So we have a whole report that's come out of this experience, but just a few quotes from the report are what I'll give you right now. So, in high school, no one asked me, "What college are you going to?" It kills your dreams if it's not offered. They don't talk through the possibilities for Black kids. Anti-Blackness is something that you feel. It's not necessarily something they say. I can see why people are giving up hope. It's hard for people to come and say, "I need help," because the people we can go to for help, we can't trust. I don't know about you, but for me, those are hard to read. Those are hard to, it's not that I don't believe them, I believe them. It's hard to think that we're not a place where that I may not be a person that a student could trust, right? But if I'm to truly serve these students, I believe that's something I need to come to grips with, okay? And I think we collectively need to as well. Next slide, please. So, this got altered a little bit, but that's fine. That's Albert's skills, or lack of skills, with PowerPoint. Okay, so, I think of our equity and anti-racism work kind of in three ways, okay? And it's a matter of learning, it's a matter of place, and it's a matter of results. And these could be expressed in different terms. We've done a lot. We've been great as a college, actually, okay, in terms of learning about equity and anti-racism. We've got a lot more learning to do, okay? But we've had a lot of professional development, a lot of workshops. We've worked with the Center for Urban Education, just all kinds of opportunities we've availed for our faculty and staff at the college, okay? Really important, and I think we've done pretty well there, even though we have lots more learning to do. That learning being truly understanding what our students are experiencing and what do we do about that, right? How do we adapt our college, our processes, our teaching, our services to that? Our place, that's what our students are experiencing. It includes our physical place, certainly, but it includes us as employees. And I hope you're with me in wanting to be a place where our students can trust us. Okay? I think it's vitally important, and I don't think learning can happen very well if that isn't happening. Okay? So I believe that's important. The results part, despite the fact that we've been doing a lot of learning, despite the fact that we've been doing a lot of training, lots of professional development, all of which is good, our equity gaps at the college are still pretty much the same. Okay? And so a lot of you are probably like me, you're results-oriented people. We need to see results in that regard. We need to see the closing of equity gaps, okay, in terms of course success, in terms of persistence. Anyway, these are, this isn't like a plan, it's just an articulation of a way to look at equity and anti-racism work at the college, and I think each part of this is vitally important to what we do. In order to do this kind of work, we collectively have to have the right values. Next slide. Well, that's convenient because we just revised our values for the college, our mission, vision, and values. And I think these values actually work. I don't know if they're very readable on there, but I'll go ahead and read them. I think they're pretty valuable in terms of looking at that kind of work, that we would connect with each other to create change, that we care with courage and compassion, that we contribute to an equitable community, and that we commit to something greater than ourselves. Okay? So I'm, as your interim president, I'm proud to stand behind those values. Okay, and I think they're a really good articulation. They're not only good just because like they all start with C and they're memorable. They're nice that way too. I like the alliteration as a poet, right? You know, that works for me. But I think they really do articulate what Sacramento City College is and what we can be as we work toward, becoming a better and better college. Next slide, please. Okay, and so our vision statement kind of follows that. Imagine a college where every student feels connected, where we value, celebrate, and uplift each other, where we interrogate, disrupt, and dismantle racism and oppression. We treat each other with compassion. We make high-quality education and technology accessible to all. We leverage innovation to create possibilities for our community. We authentically engage and value the student voice. We celebrate the joys of learning. Every student determines their future. We strive to be that college. I have to tell you, I'm really grateful for the work that the subcommittee of our college council group did in drafting these, that all our constituency groups did in terms of offering feedback so that we could fine-tune these values and vision statement. Again, as I said about the values, this vision, this feels like a vision I can stand behind, that is really important to the work that we do as a college. So glad for that really good work. I want these values and this vision to be more than words that are on the wall in Rada North 258. Okay? I want these to be, ideas that we embody in our work every day. Next slide, please. So, lots of questions. Chancellor King actually asked several of these questions, maybe not in these exact words, about what our work will look like going forward, whether it's going to be remote or in person. Lots of conversations with our labor units to determine some of these things. What our class schedule is going to look like. Right now, we're more or less 50-50 in terms of in-person and online if in the in-person you're also counting hybrid, okay? So that's about where we are. Is that what it's going to look like a year from now? Really kind of hard to say. We are going to be, responding to the demand that our students exhibit, but we're also going to be asking ourselves, what do our students need, right? In terms of programs for the college, what is this huge change that we've experienced over the last couple of years mean for our programs? It strikes me as an interesting thing that before the pandemic, we were asking ourselves, and we were publishing on our website, which programs could be offered 100% online. We kind of looked around for those, right? Well, then suddenly, almost everything was offered online. And so the question might now be, can our programs be accomplished 100% in person? Just the complete flipped question, right? And I think it's a good question. What obligation do we have for our students, right? If we've moved almost everything online, do we still have the obligation for students to be able to complete their work in person? So anyway, questions without absolute answers right now, but I'm hopeful that they're useful for thinking about. And then when will we know that we've settled? We do know more now than we did a year ago. Okay, I trust that we're going to know more about what kind of college we are a year from now than we do right now. It's not easy work, of course, as you're thinking about your particular situations, if you're teaching or whatever area that you're working in, what's that going to look like a year from now? Again, lots to be discussing, lots to be determined in that amount of time, and not that we'll get it all straightened out by August of 23 either. But I think it's something. At first we started asking ourselves, when's going to get back to normal, right? That was the question. Well, that just may not be the right question, right? If normal means the same as it was prior to the pandemic. Next slide, please. Okay, I have this slide about community because I like to think that much of what we're talking about is really tied to how we identify as a college in our community. Sacramento City College has a rich history, of course. 5 years back or so, we celebrated our 100th anniversary. We've been tied to and we've been a part of the community in a big way. I'm going to go to the dentist next week. That's not really newsworthy. But when I go to the dentist and lie back in the chair, and my hygienist comes and starts talking to me, she's going to ask about Sacramento City College. Why? Because she graduated from the dental hygiene program here, as have many of the dental hygienists in this area. I mention that just as an example because I'm sure all of you have similar kinds of experiences. If you just start talking to somebody in the line at the supermarket, right, and for some reason it comes up and they, where do you work? I work at Sacramento City College. Oh, I went there, or my kids went there, or this college is tied to the community in a way that isn't the case for all community colleges, even though that word community is in there, right? I think it's our strength. It's our strength in terms of our history, and it's our strength in terms of our opportunity for bringing us back in terms of enrollment, for our equity and anti-racism work. It's sort of something that can tie all of those concepts together. So, and I also think, and maybe this is stretching it a little bit in a different direction, I think it's something that we desperately need right now. Locally, and if we think about ourselves in terms of where we are as a country. Our country right now is more divided than ever, politically, socially. Hate or hatred is kind of a political strategy right now, right? That's deeply troubling to me. And I think our college community, and how we exhibit ourselves within the community at large in Sacramento and how we work in that area is an opportunity for a difference. We'll have our differences, right? I mean, in terms of political theory or just in terms of what we think is right or wrong or whatever. But I would love to think that this college is sort of a haven from that kind of divisiveness. So anyway, I hope you don't think I've taken you too far astray on that, but I believe it. And I believe that's an opportunity and something that I would love for everybody to feel here. Okay. Pardon me? Community ed. All right. Yeah, well, we're very open for ideas, Jessica, so thanks for saying that. Okay, I think that's actually it. Was there one more slide? Yeah, I just do want to say thank you to everybody. Okay, seriously, what you've experienced and what you've done over the last 2 years is really quite incredible. You know, nobody asked for it, but the responsiveness of this college community to the pandemic and to serving our students, largely online, and whether it's in teaching or whether it's in one of the services that we offer, has been quite remarkable. So I just want to say thanks to everybody for that. That in itself gives me great hope for the college, which I have, and I hope you do too. So thanks very much.
Thank you so much to our president, Albert Garcia. All right, I have the lovely honor of introducing Gail Pittman and Rosana Chavez Hernandez.
Good morning, everyone. We're very excited. I think that I can speak for both of us, although you certainly, Rosanna, can, speak very well for yourself.
Thank you.
That we are so excited to see all of you. We're so excited to be here in person and actually have this community experience that Albert was just talking about. And we're very excited to serve as co-chairs of our senior leadership team. We're gonna mix things up and we're gonna shake things up this year. So buckle up and get ready. So we are excited to announce and welcome our new hires and promotions. And so we can go ahead and get started with that.
That's us.
That's us, yeah, that's us.
Just in case,
yeah, just out there.
Yeah, it's us.
Yeah. So starting with our interim president, Dr. Albert Garcia. And as you can see from the slide, 2 fun facts about your interim president. He grows wine grapes, so, we need to inquire more about that. And that in a previous life, he worked as a ranger in Lassen National Park, which I think both of those, put you on the level of, like, way cool. That's super cool.
And next we have Robin Ikegami. Robin, can you come up to the stage, please? Robin is serving as the interim vice president of instruction, and we're so happy to have her. And some fun facts about Robin. She loves to travel, as you could see in that lovely picture up there. I think, was that Italy, Robin? Yeah. That was Italy. Yeah, I'm really jealous, but really happy that she got to go this summer. So, yeah. Congratulations. Welcome.
So continuing our trend of interim administrative musical chairs, we would like to welcome Deborah Sax as our Interim Associate Vice President of Instruction and College Initiatives. So Deb was not able to join us in person today, so we are going to give her a big shout out so she can hear the love that we have for her as she's watching through the live stream. So yes, you can come, please come and take her flower. Come on up and take her flower.
Yeah. It's a Deb thing.
I love my dean, and you're lucky to get her, Sac City.
And next, I would like to invite Sandra Camarena. Sandra, where you at? Are you here, Sandra? Maybe not? Oh, okay. Okay, so we're also going to accept the flowers on her behalf, but she is serving as the Interim Dean of Business, CIS, and Distance Learning Division. And some fun, yes, I heard a yes in the front row. And she has been working with us. She's going to, thank you, please come up and accept Sandra's flowers.
I'll take hers too. Thank you.
Thank you. And she's been working with SCC since 2012, and I really love the quote that she put on her slide that education found her and that she loves her work. So congratulations to Sandra.
So next, I'd like to welcome and congratulate Debre Turner, who is our Interim Director of Administrative Services. So Debbie, are you here? No, you're online? Okay. We're so excited to have you in this role, especially given the challenges of the pandemic. You've been doing your work like a champ, and we really appreciate it. And so we'll give you a big shout out. And I'm wondering if someone would like to come up and accept her flowers on her behalf. Mitch, I'm looking at you. Come here.
All right, Mitch, thank you.
I figured.
Thanks,
Way to go,
Mitch.
Debbie. Great, way to go, Debbie.
All right, and next we have Julie Holt, who is serving as our Director of Nursing. Come on up, Julie. And my apologies because I cannot read the screen very well. I'm so sorry, Julie. But woohoo, congratulations.
And now to welcome our new faculty, I'm so excited to be able to introduce Sandra Guzman, our Academic Senate President.
Yes,
Halsey just told me that all of the remaining flowers are mine, so thank you for that. Just kidding. I just want to say thank you, first and foremost. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be recognized today, and even more so to be recognized alongside Belinda Lum. Really, it is truly an honor. I'm the first in my family to be born in the United States, the first to learn to speak English, the first to go to college, the first to get a graduate degree, the first, and I can write a book on the firsts, including the role I have here today. And I recognize that there's fear in that, but some folks are just waiting to see you do it first. And you got to do it. You got to do it. And I recognize that when you do, you represent so many more. I am draped in blessings today from colleagues who welcomed me before I came in to make sure that I had the strength of blessings and honor and ancestors, and so I am draped in that power, and I recognize that when you do it first, you do it for so many more, and so I can't wait to see the so many more. So thank you for that moment. I have the honor of welcoming new faculty, and And that is quite an honor. I don't know how many of you are here today. If you are here, please come up when your name is called. If you are at home, know that we are sending you love. And I have a couple of wishes for you and hopes for you. The first is longevity. We hope you stay around for a long time. I've been here long enough to see students become colleagues, colleagues become family. We've celebrated our children growing up together, milestones, personal and professional, and we've comforted each other through the agony of loss. It's family, you know. So I hope you stick around long enough. That longevity that is measured by the depth of relationships and not just chronologically. I also wish for you joy. I hope you love what you do as I do. I hope it is reflected in your everyday interactions with students and colleagues. I hope you love teaching. I hope you love hearing people's stories. I hope you love helping somebody grow. I hope you love making sure that that person has what they need. I hope you love helping someone heal. And I hope that you experience that joy and that it is reflected in your interactions with students. It will be reciprocated. And I hope to witness some of that joy here today as I have the fortune, the luck, and the honor of introducing our new faculty. And so, well, let's get started. Our first is Danielle Jalat in counseling. Danielle, are you here? No? Congratulations and welcome, especially as counseling faculty. Welcome to the family. Claudio Cisneros, business. I think a lot of these folks are at home, so we send you love at home. Gideon Marsh, computer information system. He's making his way up here now. Welcome, congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Yes. Anne Oliver, biology. Congratulations. Megan Kumelis, head softball coach. She's probably on the softball field. Andrew Otsuki, chemistry, long-term temp. John Vilek, commercial music, long-term temp. Congratulations. And that is all. Thank you and welcome. Congratulations.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Williams. I'm the Classified Senate President. Every year, the Classified Senate President gets the honor of coming in and announcing our new hires and our promotions. And I have a long list of names to read this year. I'm thrilled by that. It's almost like I'm an announcer at an award show. So I dress the part. So if you are here today when I read your name, please come up on stage and accept a flower. If you don't feel like coming up on stage or you're with us on Zoom, I offer you a nice, crisp, virtual high five. I only have one, so please pass it around. So with that, I would like to begin. Hania Parker, Interim Confidential Administrative Assistant 3. Congratulations, Hanya.
Thank you.
Linda Lee, Interim Administrative Assistant 1. Linda Delgadillo, Interim West Sacramento Center Supervisor. Rebecca Rodriguez, Interim International Services Assistant 2. Alejandra Benitez, Student Support Specialist. Thank you for coming up on stage. It's lonely up here. Caitlin Bibe, Dental Assistant LTT. Philip Robinson, Account Clerk. Christine DeCamp, Interim Administrative Assistant 3. I read in the fun facts, Christine has 4 children. I have 1 and I'm exhausted. Congratulations, Christine, and the fact that they're all teenagers. Francis R. Betchell, Account Clerk. Gabriel Esperanza, Student Support Specialist. Heather Higgins, Child Development Center Lead Teacher. Mary Irving, Counseling Clerk 2. Laura Mora, Grant Coordinator Clerk. Congratulations, Laura. Amber Arizas Davila, Student Support Specialist. I know many of our classifieds like to sit in the back so you can escape and go back to work as quickly as possible. That's good on you, but we'll see you up here. Michelle Moa, Laboratory Technician for Science. Delilah Perez, Student Personnel Assistant for Counseling. Roberto Cruz, Clerk 3, EOPS. Alexander Sylvia, Financial Aid Clerk 2. Madeline Thompson, Administrative Assistant 1. Becca Trumbly, Counseling Clerk 2. Danielle Ariola, Assistant Financial Aid Officer. Angelica Garcia Galvan, Student Support Specialist. Irina Bakinski, Administrative Services Analyst. Candy He, Student Personnel Assistant, DSPS. Azizula Karowski, Administrative Assistant 1. Blanche Levy, Admissions and Records, Evaluation Degree, Auditor 1. Boone Moa, Outreach Specialist. America Rust, Student Support Specialist. Jessica Taylor, Student Support Specialist for Student Life. Kelly Stevens, Student Support Specialist. Before we move forward, can we please have all who are here of our new hires for our admin, for our faculty, and for our classifieds, please come up to the stage for a photo opportunity, please. Don't be shy. Well, if you don't feel comfortable, you can stay there, but we hope that you can make it up to the stage. Albert, that includes you. Come on. Everyone wants to take your picture. Everyone watch the screen. We have a slight surprise. Not just a blank screen. It'll be getting better. There. Congratulations to you all. It is now my honor to bring to the stage Deborah Knowles, who will announce our Student Senate introductions.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Deborah Knowles, and I have the privilege of serving the Sacramento City College student leaders. I am the Student Leadership and Development Advisor. And for me, Convocation has always been the best place, a good place to hear from our student leaders. So I'm going to be sharing with you our newest ones. I have two thoughts to start with. One is ongoing and one is new. The ongoing thought is, if you're like me, we'd love to hear the voice of students. We are here for students. That's what we do. Have you ever been the new kid on the block, the new kid in a meeting? Have you ever come into a meeting where you're passionate about a thing, but there are people in the room that have been doing this for 20 years? And while you're welcome, you don't know yet. You need to learn a little bit, right? I think we've all had a moment when we're the new person in the room. And then we get seasoned and we find our voice and we find our footing. This happens for our students, our student leaders too. They have about 7.5 months each year to do their work, and then the team shifts. So every year, they're new. They're new to the committees. They're new to college in many cases. They're passionate. They have things they want to say, but it takes them a minute to warm up. So I invite you to welcome students in any fashion that you run into them, passing on your Canvas shells, in your classrooms, in your anything that you're doing. Lean into them. They do have things to say. They're just warming up their motors. And since they only have 7.5 months, help them get there faster. The second thing I'd like to bring to your attention is we talk about, myself included, it's changed so much, and it has. The pandemic has changed everything. But you now have students that this is all they know. It's not changed for them. It is what it is. Our entire student leadership team last year and now this year were in high school when the pandemic happened. This is their whole college experience so far. So I invite you to keep that in mind as we're working with them. And remember, we're not so much looking back and lamenting, although we are. But we're turning forward and looking forward to the future. And nobody's done this before. There's no path or model to follow. And our students are doing it anyway. Our students are taking the lead in that. And so with those thoughts in mind, I would like you to consider that, to welcome our new student leaders and the leader of the leaders this year, Marissa Galvan, Student Senate President.
Good morning, everybody. Hello, my name is Marissa Galvan, and I am the Student Senate President for Sacramento City College for the 2022-23 school year. It is an honor to be here to speak on the student experience, and I would like to thank the following people for their commitment to the students: classified professionals, administrators, and faculty. And also, I want to recognize and thank our Los Rios Community College District Chancellor, Mr. Brian King, the Los Rios Board of Trustees and Pamela Haynes, SCC's President, Albert Garcia, student leadership and development staff, and my advisor, Ms. Deborah Knowles, and my fellow committed student leaders, a part of our student leadership team, who are among the people who work to bring the voice of Sacramento City students forward. I would like to start with sharing a little bit about me and how I started my journey at Sacramento City College. My past few years in school have been shaped by the pandemic. I went into a virtual learning setting my junior year of high school and then graduated and started college during the pandemic as well. Never did I think my end of high school and early college experience would be like this, but it has become to be all I have ever known. I am proud to say that I am a first-generation student, and I am starting my second year in college, and today is one of my first times stepping onto campus as a Sacramento City College student. The college experience can be nerve-wracking enough, let alone trying to find where you are on campus, and to be honest with you, I still don't know where I am going on campus, and I'm glad I was able to make it here today. I would like to ask those here with me or anyone watching, do you know what it is like to be a teacher or a student and ask a question to a bunch of blank screens with no response? As someone who stayed devoted to my learning throughout the pandemic, I can strongly say that this deeply affected my morale. Rarely did I feel connected to my college in the way I would guess normal students do, considering that my first year experience did not hold as much excitement as expected. The disconnect between our students and campus was evident. Lack of engagement grew, and we, much like campuses everywhere, struggled to mend this disconnect. Nonetheless, I am thankful to say that we are moving towards our normal lives, which means that we can start with the revitalization of our campus. Even if a student chooses to not engage or participate in on-campus services, they should still know that those on campus will be there for them no matter what. All of us are looking forward without a model on how to survive in a post-pandemic world. The least we can do is continue to be a supportive foundation for our students. I can proudly say that even though I have been virtual this past year, I have been taught by amazing professors and helped by faculty who have made my experience as a student better. For that, we can all say that we have the opportunity to make an impact on our students even through a pandemic and beyond. A while ago, I had a prospective student reach out to me and ask how to register for classes. This is among one of the many needs that our incoming student body will deal with. To current me, the idea of registering for classes is easy, but I also remember how confused I felt when I was a prospective student navigating e-services. Students cannot inquire about campus services if they do not know about them. While we have amazing staff members doing this work that we are grateful for, many students still miss this message. I myself navigated all my questions through our college website and was able to have a successful first year. As a reminder to all of us, Sacramento City College is a Hispanic serving institution, which means that we are an institution of higher learning with an enrollment of undergraduate full-time equivalent students that is a minimum of 25% or more Hispanic. Along with this, we have an amazing cross-sectionality amongst our cultures of students and amazing on-campus services to match it. The beautiful thing about our student body diversity is that wherever you feel you belong, there is an on-campus support group to serve your needs. Not only does this diversity deserve to be celebrated, but it is an example of everything we as a college stand for and will continue to uphold. The college experience does not have one mold. Each student goes through an individualistic journey to get to where they are. As a student, it is a great feeling when your professors care about you enough to want to get to know you. So I ask you, faculty and staff, stop students while they're on campus when you see them. Ask them about their education plans or how their college experience is going. See if you can direct them to any on-campus service you recommend or one that they may not know about. It is these small interactions that make a big impact on students and help rebuild our campus community. Thank you so much to everyone for listening to what I have to say today. I would like to thank my parents for always supporting me in my educational journey wherever it takes me. I am looking forward to showing you all the amazing work that the Student Associated Council can do this year. And as we look ahead, I want to wish our faculty, staff, and students an amazing school year. Thank you.
Don't worry about it. Who's introducing Deborah? I know my name. I can introduce myself. Hey, good morning, everybody. Wherever you are, virtual or here, welcome to Fall 2022. I don't know about you, but I am filled with gratitude. I am so grateful to be here. As we think about these past 2.5 years, it's been an incredible journey. All of us, as the Chancellor has said, has experienced some kind of trauma. And to be able to stand in the presence right now is just such a great gift. So I hope wherever you are, that in whatever you're doing and whatever your role is here, that you are first eternally grateful. I'm so proud of my district and my college. You know, I am one of the most vocal critics because, and here's why. Because this is not an institution of rules and regulations and practices. This is an institution of people. And if we want to see change, we must be it. You know, I don't know what you heard this morning, but what I have heard this morning is very different than what I heard when I started here in 2008. I heard people talking about and from their humanity. I heard the words equity and anti-racism and equitable, and those words were not even voiced or even part of the lexicon when I was here. When I started here, I got to hit my timer. So I am so grateful and so proud of my college. And I am so proud to be here and to have the colleagues that I have. To those of you who have received some kind of awards, you know, they are more than well-deserved. And so we have the privilege of just being really in greatness. I want to thank everybody who kept the lights on. I want to thank those custodians, classified professionals, faculty, administrators, who came here when it was a ghost town, who had no idea if anybody would ever come back, but you kept the lights on. And when I came on campus and went through the webs that were here and you were still smiling. So thank you very much for being here. We've learned so much in these 2.5 years. We learned what's possible, but we have no idea of what the future holds or still what's possible. And so when I was thinking about this, someone said, Deborah, what should be the title of what you're going to say? I don't know. How about what now? Because that's what I was struggling with. What now? Not what next. What now? As I thought about whether or not I would come back on campus, because I had the option like most of us, do you want to come back on campus or continue in an online environment? The introvert in me, because I really am an INTJ, love being at home. Just send me to my room is what when my mother said, Deborah, you go to your room, I was like, okay. But I missed being here. I missed my students. Education is a lot of things, but it's about, for me, a touch and feel kind of thing. Students need to see what's possible. And as Sandra Guzman said, you've got to be that for it. You've got to be that for our students. And so I had to ask myself, Deborah, are you really ready to go back? Because as Marissa said, we don't know what the model is, but I do know what the model is, and so do you. Look in the mirror. You are the model. I had to say to myself and ask myself, Deborah, are you ready? You're really ready to go back. What now? Are you ready to go back fearlessly? You got to be fearless. COVID is here to stay, no doubt about it. But as my dentist said, fully armed, Deborah, we've been dealing with viruses all the time. And we now know how to take care of ourselves, right? We're not immune, but we know how to take care of ourselves. We must live courageously. We must live with a sense of excitement. I am absolutely thrilled, excited. Anticipation just reigns supreme with me about Tuesday morning when I get to my class. I have been videotaping my students saying, I can't wait to meet you because I can't wait to meet them. I said to them on the video, 2 minutes, if you're on the wait list, don't worry about it. Come on in. We got to be ready. I want you to clap for you, not for me. So here's what I want to ask you. Are you ready? Are you ready to be fully human? That's what now is calling for us to be fully human. What does that mean? It means that we must have a beginner mind. You got to walk back into this classroom, whether it's virtual or online or hybrid, with a beginner's mind. Because as Marissa said, this is all she has known. And for some of our students coming on campus, this is a new day. Most of you forgot where the bathrooms are. Yeah, right? You forgot how to use your copy machine, right? You're going to try to pull the door open or something, you forgot you got to get some new keys. Are you going to walk into your classroom with a mask or not a mask? How are you going to keep your students safe? How are you going to do group assignments? Right? Got to be fully human. Knowing that the same anticipations and trepidations that you have, so too do our students have. So let me say this. What gets in our way, I think, are the 3 R's. You know, that rules, that whole thing about rigor that some of you objectives more than subjectively define every time you see a student, particularly a student who looks like me, and the routine of things. I want to invite you to create some new rules. And I would invite you to have no rules as one of your new rules. I would invite you to stop thinking about rigor in a way that is divisive, discriminatory, and exclusive. And start thinking about how can I reach a student and bring that student all the way. Because here's the truth of the matter. You've got yours. We're here so they can get theirs. While this is not about you, it is centered on you. And I want to ask my staff colleagues and administrative colleagues to forgive me for a minute while I talk to those of us who have the privilege and the moral imperative of what we must be inside the classroom. You know, inside the classroom is a sacred space. For those of us who have the privilege to stand in front of students, we are the common denominator. They see us more than they see staff. They interact with us more than they interact with anybody on this campus. We are the common presence in their life. What kind of presence will you be this semester? Will you be a presence of kindness, of flexibility, of humanity, of resilience, of fearless courage, of compassion? Will you be a person who leads students to knowledge rather than showing how much you know? Most of what I know is obsolete anyway that I learned in college. Yes? Yeah, we need to tell the truth about the matter. But I know how to learn. I know how to learn. I know how to seek knowledge. I know how to make people thirsty for it because I'm thirsty for it. I know how to be excited about life. And if you bring that to the classroom, students will stay. You and I must own this thing about retention and persistence. Students don't just check out of a college, they check out of a classroom first. They check out. They check out on me, and they check out on you. So, you know, we have to ask ourselves, you know, how are we going to bring this compassion in so that students don't check out on us? I want you to, I want you to think about that. And I want you to think about, you know, what's this new time done for me? How have I changed over these past two years? One of the best things I think I did this summer was, although I said out loud I wasn't going to work, but that was a lie. I said I'm going to learn something new. And so I decided at my ripe young age of 67 that it's time to learn how to swim. Now, I decided I was going to learn how to swim and how to play golf. Somebody said to me, in their stupidity, you know, Deborah, that's something that you learn when you're young. You know, you learn it better when you're young. Is that probably a true statement? Yes. But I said to this person, well, I'm learning it right now. I didn't have the privilege of learning either one of those things when I was young, but I'm learning it right now. But here's what's learning to swim, as I was in the pool like a whale flailing around yesterday. Here's what I've learned. That if you haven't tried to do something for the very first time that you've never done before, you've forgotten a beginner's mind. You've forgotten what it's like to be brand new at something. I know what Marissa says when, you know, this is all I know. And I still can't find my way around. You must be that thing. You must be that model. You must be the person that approaches our students with great humanity, with great humility, with great love, with great faith. I stand before you with, I'm the faith that my ancestors had. They could have never imagined a me, right? Here I am, a black woman with a PhD from the South Bronx. Now, I got a 6-digit debt. And that's because of poverty. That's because of poverty. But I'm here to make sure that that's not the legacy going on. So to all of my colleagues, classified, administrators, oh, let me say something to you interim people. Stop saying I'm an interim. Nobody cares about that. Nobody but you care about that, and you shouldn't care about that. There's no such thing as an interim president. There's no such thing as an interim vice president of instruction. You are it. We demand of you, expect of you, what that full title entails. And I am here to support you in every way, and I know my colleagues are. So forget about the interim. You're it. And for all of us, we are it. We are the defining difference. We are Sacramento City College, alive, well, ready, compassionate, fearless. Yes, we are the what's now. We are ready for the what's next. And for those who are listening who have the bucks, let me tell you my suggestion. It's time for a party. And I mean this sincerely. We need to have a party where the entire community is invited. And what we say is, we are here, we are open, we are here for your family, we are ready, and we invite you to invest in us as we invest in you so we can invent the future. May fall 2022 be the start of something incredibly fantastic. May you be the one. Thank you.
The inimitable, did I get that right? Dr. Deborah Crumpton, thank you.
So we're done. I'm just here to let you guys know, thank you guys for being here in person with us and virtually. And we are now going to go ahead and let you out. We have some games set up outside. We also don't want you to forget about the intentions that we'd like you to set for the semester. And just thank you guys for being here.
And free food.
Oh, and there's free food as well, yes.
For new hires and promotions, and just anybody who wants a new photo, the PIO has set up on the second floor of Student Services the ability for you to take a photo. So head up there after food, you can get photos. Thank you to the support that put this on. Without them, this couldn't have happened. And so we have, in particular, Alex Aiden, Michi Montgomery, and Jim Hill. Thank you.